Hello again, it's Jennifer, and welcome back. We are doing a stitch with me. I know the camera's all kind of in a weird ass way, real weird angle. I tried to get as close as possible so y'all could see what I was working on and, see me stitch and try not to look at my messy house around it. I mean, it's not that messy, but yeah. And well, I couldn't get the camera close enough. And I don't know if there's a zoom on this or not. And of course, I didn't even think to look. And I guess not. So, guys, I'm sorry. I know. Uh-huh. Go ahead. Complain. Say what you gotta say. Um, just kidding. Um, so I just didn't want to you know, want y'all to think, okay, she doesn't want me just doesn't want us to see what she's working on, but I will show you. Um, this is, I've had this chart for a really, really long time. Yes, it's watermarked with heaven and earth on it. This is Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. This is one of the Cleopatras that I have from heaven and earth. And I don't know if you guys can see the picture. I'm trying to show it to you, but we're all blurry. It's not showing. That's gonna be stupid. Wait a minute. Anyway, you get the idea. It's Cleopatra. So, that's that, and it's Friday. I'm recording this on Friday. This is gonna go up on Saturday. I wasn't planning to do a stitch with me this week because just I don't know. Don't ask me. I just wasn't planning to do it. But you know what? And it seems like, and I think one reason is because um, I haven't gotten a lot of uh, feedback from you guys, or from, FlossTube basically, on the videos. I get a lot of likes. That's just me. Don't ask me. I'm strange that way. So I'm sorry. I try not to worry about that kind of stuff. And, I do try to see, who watches and, who, I mean, they don't have to like the video. They don't have to, you know, I just try to see what, you know, I take from the views and the likes and stuff, what people, want to see. So, but no, I haven't really, well, yeah, I have been stitching. I don't want to sit there and say I haven't and be lying my butt off. Um, I had to restart this because, first of all, the fabric was the wrong size. Dum dum here. Yeah. And then the pages, I had already did 3 pages and it wasn't matching up. So I had to, fortunately, I found fabric that was, I had some fabric that was big enough or the right size. So I went ahead and um, just restarted it. And I don't like restarting anything, but I said, well, I'll restart it and just, fix the problem. So, I have not updated about 100 days of stitching, not on the channel this week, just because, truthfully, I almost forgot. That's bad when you almost forget something like that, right? Um, I did. I almost forgot, truthfully. And, um, I do need to do a 100-day. I did one kind of yesterday, and but I need to do a better one so that, but I didn't get to update as much. And that's my I have a big major problem with doing that. Is not that I don't remember to do it. It's just that um I just, well, I guess I do kind of forget. I mean, I have Instagram, I have Facebook, I have, YouTube and Twitter, and I don't get on Twitter so much just because um, there's not a lot of hope. To me, I mean, Twitter's good and all, and I look at it every now and then, but I can't, I can't really, I guess, really follow it as well. But Instagram and Facebook, I like those, but do I always remember to post on Instagram? No. And, and it's not because I don't want to. It's just there are times that, oh yeah, I have Instagram. You can post. And it never really, yeah, doesn't always happen. But that's okay. So, but but again, about this chart, it's Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. Oh goodness, excuse me. It is from Heaven and Earth Designs, and um, like I said, I've had this chart for a while. I misplaced it because, as you guys can see, I'm using my tablet. I had misplaced it, and so when I forgot that I had put it in my iCloud at one point, couple, or I don't even remember now. And so as I was downloading the Goodreader app for my cross stitch patterns, which is another one now that I didn't know existed, and I forgot what it's called. And if any of you stitchers remember what it's called, please, you know, please comment below, and I will try that app out. I like Goodreader, but there's, anyway, I was going through all my cross stitch charts, and I realized that it was there, and I was like, oh crap, I forgot I even had it. And I had started this a long time ago. 2, 3, 4. Okay, yeah. And again, it was on my iCloud, and so when I had put Goodreader on my iPad, I realized that I still had this chart. So I picked that back up and started working on it. And of course, this was before I realized that I had uh, the wrong size fabric. So it was crazy. But it was just me being me. So, but for 100 days that started, the beginning of the month, I haven't been really doing a really good job of keeping track. I mean, I have my planner, but I keep forgetting. And I've been writing down, every day that I do stitch. And of course, the 8th. And I just haven't been doing very good with this. So, goodness. So, and um, tomorrow night and then Sunday all day, I'm gonna do a marathon, stitching marathon, and put a dent in some of these, especially this one in this project, and get it moving, because I feel like I'm so far behind. And I'm still trying to discipline myself to switch back and forth between my coloring and my diamond painting and the cross stitch. And granted, yeah, sure, I'm home all day long, but I still have to learn, I guess, to um, switch up every now and then, because I get burnout sometimes from stitching or diamond painting, and sometimes I just which I think everybody gets burnt out, so it's not it wouldn't be the first time that's happened to me. So, and I will give you warning now, if you do hear me pause and kind of count to myself, it's because one of the things that I've been doing since, I think it's like a year now, I've been keeping a running tally. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this. Like here, I don't know if you guys can see that. If you guys can see that, I don't know if you can or not. Yeah, you can. All right, getting it. Like here, I keep a running tally of how many stitches I stitch. And at the end of however long I stitch, I total it out. And it's just something that I've started doing for myself. I don't know why. I think because um, there were other stitchers that I am friends with that, did it before, that do it. And I think they do it to see, you know, I guess to challenge themselves. That's what I started doing it as. So it just kind of became a habit to do this. And don't ask me why. I don't even know. Let's see. I'm thinking, guys, trying to figure out where okay. Trying to figure out where I'm supposed to put this, because this is on 22 count, and I never knew how to stitch on 22 count. I always stitched on 18, 14, and when I first got 22 count fabric, I kind of boo-booed because I didn't realize that I, I tried to do it like it was 18 count. So yeah, that was an experience. And it was kind of funny. That was one of the things I learned not to do. And, recently I just figured it out. So Same thing with 25 count. I had to figure that out too. So that was, and I don't usually stitch on that size on 22 count. Well, I stitch on 22 count more than I do 25 count, because to me, the count, that count is too, the holes are just too small, and it's hard to see sometimes, and yeah, it just makes it difficult sometimes, especially with my eyes, even though I do have my bifocals, and well, and I'm hoping, but yeah, I had to learn that, and it was, nobody ever taught me that. I just had to figure that out on my own, and it was hard, because when the community started over on Yahoo, and the Yahoo groups and everything, or well, actually AOL. That's, how long I've been stitching. Don't laugh. I know I'm old. But when I started, that's where I met some of the stitchers that I'm friends with now. And excuse me. Okay. Hold on just a second. 2, 6, 18, 19, 20. 22, 23, 25, 26, 27. Sorry. 28, 29, 30, 31. 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, but Lord, now I forgot. That's how I met some of the stitchers that I'm friends with now. But nobody ever taught me what the different counts were. I had no clue. I was flying blind. I was only used to stitching, on 14 count, 18 count. And I ended up, before, my parents and I don't talk that much anymore now, but before, uh, I ended up going to my mother and saying, okay, I need some help here. I don't know a thing about what is this? I just saw this color. Please don't. Please, really. Hold on, guys. And I told my mother, I said, I don't know what in the world I'm, I don't understand. And she was like, what do you mean you don't understand? And I said, what are these different, you know, um, different, darn it. What are these different counts? And because I told her, I said, I have no clue what, they are. And she said, she showed me. I mean, because she used to stitch also before she started taking out quilting, and she tried to explain it to me, and I said, well, how in the world do you stitch on these things? That to me, that was the hardest thing to try to figure out. And I, for the longest time, I didn't. I just, excuse me, stuck with what I knew. But the 22 count is not so bad. And, I like that just as much as I do 18 count. So it's, I'm not well versed in all the different counts like, a lot of other people are. So it gets, and of course, I've been asked, well, how do you not know all the different count, different, you know, because I just don't, there's only so many, three kinds that I'll stitch with. So, and of course, people didn't understand that. They just thought that was just kind of wrong. So, I do need to specify something. I had I don't know if we really want to call it a complaint, but well, no, I got asked this in my group on Facebook, the 100 Days of Cross Stitching Sisters, blah, blah, blah. And I was asked, um, and of course, that doesn't look right, really. Um, I guess everybody, and I need to specify this because I think people think, okay, you know, doing one project during the 100 days is, a requirement. To me, I don't think it's not a requirement. I don't know why people are saying that it's a requirement. It's not a requirement. I'm not I'm not going to sit here and beat you over the head with a baseball bat or a rubber noodle and say you can't do more than one project. If that was the case, I wouldn't be doing it. And it's oh. And I don't enforce stuff like that too much because we're supposed to be having fun with it. And and don't get me wrong, I enjoy stitching just as much as the next person. But when, and of course my light is being funky and I can't, there we go. And when, it's not a requirement to stick with just one project. Like I said, if that was the case, I'd be in trouble because I don't, I'm not sticking with one project. So, you know. And I apologize if you guys can't see this very well. I did try to move my camera as close as possible. I was going to put it on a tripod behind me, but my drafting table is broke. It's still standing, but the I guess screws, whatever, that are holding um it together are coming loose, and I didn't want to try to move the table out of the way to bring the tripod out here, and it would have just, I'm not lazy, I promise I'm not. And of course, I'm trying not. I'm not lazy. I'm just, I just didn't want a big huge mess. It wouldn't have been pretty, and y'all would have laughed at me and thought, oh Lord. And so that wouldn't have been a good thing. So I'm waiting for Miranda's boyfriend to come and fix that so that I can finish rearranging my bedroom. Never in my life. It's, I usually record back there when they're home or what have you. Well, I can't, especially when they're home, I can't, it's hard to record because I can't shut the door since since we're in the middle of rearranging and we came to a standstill. So it makes it hard to record. And yeah, it's just a big pain in the butt. And till I get everything straight, you know, hopefully that'll work out. That'll be this weekend because we plan to rearrange the living room also to make room for, because I always rearrange the living room around this time, um, to make room for when we put the tree up in November. So, I always like to rearrange it and make sure, I have a space to when I rearrange so that, I can have a space to put the tree on or put the tree. And of course, Justin's like, do we have to? But, he's 18 and I think now is the stage that he's trying to, realize, okay, you know, mom busts her butt to try to make everybody happy, and mom busts her butt to try to make our life, you know, somewhat livable and, fun. And sorry, I'm putting some, what you call it, on my hands, hand sanitizer. Some kind, try to do something that's, and I try to make, my home as comfortable as possible. So when I'm rearranging, yeah, he may complain, but he gets it. He gets it. So he just doesn't, he doesn't like it. And today, I know I'm not going to ask him to do, excuse me, a whole lot today because he just texted me a little while ago and he's not feeling good and he doesn't have a fever, but he's got a really bad headache. So I'm thinking his glasses that he doesn't wear all the time need to be, he might need new glasses. So we'll see. I'm trying to not schedule the appointment right away because we can't really do anything until after Christmas. So it's kind of one of those things. But we'll see. I don't know. He's kind of been, and I have to say, and I know I've said this on a couple more, couple videos before this, but he's really, since he's turned 18, he has really, really stepped up a lot to kind of help out, with things around here. The only time I have issues, and I think this is just, with every child, it could be, it could be just, you know, or it could be just my kid. I don't know. When it comes to my being, not feeling good or in bed with a migraine or whatever, he tells me, okay, mom, I'll help out, be it with, little dude or what have you. No, he forgets. And I haven't really pushed the issue because, he's 18 and, he's an adult, and I'm not going to push that issue because I don't, I don't want an argument. And I don't like arguments. The only time that I've really gotten a little um, angry with him was the other night. Um, it was like, it was a Friday night. I think it was last Friday night. I can't remember. Uh, I was asleep, and Skylar was asleep. And I guess he woke up, little dude. I'm not quite sure. All I know is that, I jumped 5 feet off the floor, off the bed, and I happened to look over to my right, and little dude was laying there. And he, looked at me. I can't sleep, Mom. Okay. Well, he went back to sleep. All I could hear was Justin and his big mouth. And he was, cussing or whatever. And I didn't feel like getting up out of the bed. So I took my phone and I texted him. And I told him, I said, dude, you really need to calm down now. Well, he again was loud and yelled to me and kind of got an attitude. And I went to answer him back. Well, he came out. He came out of his bedroom, out of their bedroom, and I looked at him and I said, excuse you? And he says, what? And I said, dude. And he said, what? I said, you do realize that um it's whatever. I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't remember. And he's like, yeah. And I said, um, everybody else is asleep. Okay. And son, you're loud. You woke me up. I'm sorry, but I'm an adult now. Okay. And I said, well, that's fine. I said, but you need to be respectful of others in the house. And he says, well, I'm trying to be quiet. And the bad thing about here in this apartment, okay, they swear up and down. They used to swear up and down to me that the walls were soundproof. That's bull. And I told him, and that's one thing about this apartment. You can hear a pin drop even if the door is closed. So, and I can hear people in the apartment below me sometimes in the middle of the night. So I just told him I'm not dealing with it. And I said, you need to either, you know, just go ahead and go to sleep or something because you're loud. You woke me up. Your brother came in here because you woke me up. And he just looked at me funny. So he just, but finally I think he realized that, he was wrong. So he came, he told me the next morning, um, when he got up, and he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. And I was like, well, you just got to remember that, we are asleep. You're not, are used to being up, late, whatever. And mom doesn't have that luxury anymore. And of course, he called me old. But I had to laugh because, he is right. I mean, I can't be up past 10 o'clock. I miss the 11 o'clock news. I used to watch the 11 o'clock news all the time. But now I can't. I don't even get to watch it. So it's kind of funny, especially when I want to watch, shows that are on at 10 o'clock or, go on lives that are on late and, on at night, like, Mrs. Coffee's live or Jeremy's live. Now, last weekend I did go on Jeremy's live only because I couldn't sleep. So, yeah, I was kind of already awake. Not that I wanted to be. I tried to sleep, so it didn't quite work that way. But it's alright. It's whatever. Yeah, I'm getting to be like Laura now, saying whatever. And just so you know, Laura, Skylar is starting to say it the same exact way you do. He thinks it's funny. He came in and looked at me last night. I said something to him, and he looked at me. He's like, whatever. I was like, really? And he says, what? I said, are you trying to be like Miss Laura? Uh-huh. I like Miss Laura. I was like, oh, God. I was like, well, Miss Laura likes you too, but that doesn't mean you got to start talking like her. And, he thought that was just, He's like, well, what's wrong with that? And I said, dude. So, But anyway, so I'm not going to do much today except sit here and cross stitch. I'm waiting for the mailman to come and UPS. I'm not going to stalk them. I swear I wasn't. I promise I'm not. This is getting recorded. You guys won't see this until Saturday, but yeah, I'm still, but I just wish they wish it would hurt, it would hurry up. So, but that's it for this Stitch With Me, guys. I know. Goody, right? So, what did I do? Oops. I goofed it. Wait a minute. I goofed it. Give me a second. I got to fix my boo-boo. And, of course, then I got a knot in my floss. Really. No, I'm not happy. There. I didn't realize it boo-booed. I was sitting here going along. Because, yeah. Hold on. Okay. But that's it for me, guys. I am going to go finish working on this and get these uploaded, and I will right? Yes. And I will talk, and I will see you all next time for the next Stitch With Me. And I hope everyone has a great weekend, and just remember to make every day a crafty one, and God bless.